Greetings and welcome to my channel. Let me be clear, if you are an individual who can be easily offended or triggered by different opinions concerning race, religion, sex, sexual preference, gender, politics, geopolitics, or basically anything at all, please be advised to discontinue at this point. To continue viewing from this point is an agreement that you are watching this video despite receiving a clear warning that you should not, and you relinquish all rights to complain to any authority or seek any compensation from myself or from the platform hosting the video. I thank you for your time and attention, and if you've decided to continue watching, I salute your fortitude.
Hey Richie,
Right.
you can turn my microphone on and off for me all the time, please, because my fingers, I touch the wrong button sometimes and the whole thing goes.
It automatically mutes you when the video, when I play a video like that, it mutes everybody. So
Yeah. But on your panel, can you still turn my microphone off whenever you want to?
yeah, of course I can. Like listen, if there's any, if I need to, I'll switch it off. All right, cool.
Yeah, very good.
Hopefully we'll get back all the viewers that we had. Because I had 25 people in the audience then. Hi again,
And
finding Isis, Wazzy, Leafy. That was Gremlins. I got kicked out on my computer. Couldn't find the DNS server to go back in again. Went in on my phone and then changed my VPN, and then I was able to go in on the computer, and then it chucked me out and ended the stream. So
You've been a naughty boy.
Gremlins. What were we talking about? What were we saying? We were talking about oh God.
Don and I were talking about something different when you were gone.
All right, well, continue. What were you talking about? What did I miss?
What were you up to, Don? What was the last question?
You were talking about being sort of free, and then you were telling me some circumstances that you're in, and I asked you how you got in those circumstances with the law enforcement or whatever, and I put the caveat, if you want to share that stuff.
Yeah. Well, basically it originated from a woman's scorn and restraining order put against me, which I breached because I don't like being restrained.
So you like to be wild and untamed.
I have been my whole life. I've been to court quite a few times. I've had at one court case, it was the Australian Aviation Authority tried to prosecute me for flying an unlicensed flying machine without a pilot's license. And I won that case because they couldn't prove that I was within their jurisdiction.
What the fuck were you flying?
Yeah, I've been building aircraft since I was 19. Gyroscopes and hang gliders and paragliders, things like that mainly.
So obviously you feel confident enough to build these devices and fly them.
Oh yeah, I started off flying a kite. They were called kites. We used to tow them behind boats, and you had to have skis on, and you were tied to the boat the whole time. But we eventually, on a lake not far from here, we rigged up a big inboard motorboat with a winch on it, with 1,200 feet of stainless steel wire, and we towed ourselves up to over 1,000 feet.
And do you fly these things in unpopulated areas?
Yeah, where I am, it's a very unpopulated area. I'm on the far south coast of Western Australia.
Unpopulated, not populated. It's
Unpopulated.
There's not many people around.
Yeah, because this is where you have to have rules now when you're around other people. Because I'm pretty sure you wouldn't want to fly around other people that do those same kind of devices, but they don't really know how to maneuver them or they haven't been trained. So it'd be dangerous for everybody involved. So knowing that, it sounds like you're trying to be off the grid, but yet at the same time participate with the grid. Hence why you got dragged into court. Okay.
I don't think there was any avoiding getting dragged in to court, but with Australia is just like England, and they well, just like everywhere, the police think that they are the fucking that they are the law, and what they say goes. Yeah. So, and if they turn up on your door and drag you off to the station and whatever, there's not much you can do about it, is there?
Well, when it comes to that, no. The police are just like the goons, and they'll even tell you, you have the right to remain silent. But to be dragged in court means that a person's resisted a lot of options prior to that. I always tell people, try to avoid going to court. It's like try to avoid going to the casino. Why? Because the house always wins. Now, they might give you the illusion you won today, but last time I remember, most people have SIN numbers and all that. They'll get you somewhere else. So you try to avoid it. Okay, what do you want me to do? You want me to give you I'm sorry outside of court? You want me to give you a couple extra $1,000? No problem. But it's usually the guy that wants to fight the system. I said, no, the system eats you up, whether you know it or not.
I mean, one thing I'll say is that nobody ever wins in court. You don't win. It might be a moral victory, but you don't win in court. What they do is they just cease the proceedings. Mm-hmm. They call a mistrial or whatever. They cease the proceedings, so you don't ever actually get to win. You just left in limbo, kind of.
Yeah, you won a battle, but you're not going to win the war. You might even win a couple of battles. But at that point, you're on the run, or you're trying to move this piece with that piece. I'm not saying I agree with the system, but publicly I will respect it. Privately, I'll bash it. This is where people forget you're in public court. Dare not them actually put trims around those flags. Now you're in a different type of court. And I get it. Some guys are badass. Oh yeah, I said, yeah, no problem. Duct tape upside down will teach you something. But anyway, it sounds like you enjoy doing certain things, Tony.
Yeah, I've always, my whole life, I've always done exactly what I wanted to do. And I avoided authority whenever possible. And if I clashed, I usually tried to find somebody sensible enough to discuss it with.
But you value your own authority.
Yeah, what a didactic.
But now, without catching in contradictions, do you go to grocery stores?
Yeah, about once a week I'll buy sugar and a few essential things. I've got a next door neighbour that I buy milk straight from the cow, and another neighbour where I buy eggs, and I don't need much else.
So it sounds like you almost enjoy the concept of being a nomad to a certain point.
Yeah, I live alone, and sometimes I don't see a neighbour for a day or two, and I quite like being by myself and using my imagination.
Now, if you had kids, go ahead. Good morning, Mac. If you had kids, would that be different? If you had kids, the way you want to live that lifestyle?
I have 5 children and 16 grandchildren.
Okay, so then I guess you're pretty true that way. Good for you.
He's a nomad.
He's a nomadic. Mac can confirm it. Thanks, Mac. Good
Yep,
morning.
he's
by the way.
gone mad.
No, I'm a monad.
No, mad.
Yeah,
He's
no.
not mad. Yeah,
No,
I am.
no mad.
I am nomad.
I'm
no mad. I'm crazy.
Yeah, I'm bonkers.
monad.
Sounds-
I'm a monad. Monad.
Sounds like
Bonehead.
a proven
Did you say bonehead?
Means you
Mon.
walk free, but they're saying yes. You did it, you
Monad.
just couldn't prove it.
All right.
You in Scotland there? OSP 69. Which part of Scotland? Something else I was going to say as well. Oh yeah. I love ice in my in my drink when it's hot. I love
I
my
like-
apple juice with lots of ice in it.
Yeah.
And if
I
I,
like
do
ice
have a
in
bike,
Chicago.
if I get when I go out and have my protein booster, I have a glass of Coke. I know you shouldn't have Coca-Cola, but it's like, yeah, well, I do. I have a glass
fattening.
of Coca-Cola, and that's always got to be with lots of ice, freezing cold with lots of ice.
Yep.
So yeah, I like ice in my drinks. It's a bit of a bitch when it's on the pavement and you slip up on it and bung your ass. Or are you talking about that ragtag group of crazy individuals that think they have the law on their side? I think that might be who you're talking about. Ah, Edinburgh. That's where Mr. What's his face? The comedian. Oh God, what's his? Billy Connolly. Billy Connolly. He's from Edinburgh, isn't he?
Sounds Irish to me.
Oh man,
Yeah,
my
well-
brain is still not working properly. Yeah, I'm really feeling this being disturbed every bloody night and not getting a proper night's sleep.
Why are you beating yourself up?
I'm not beating myself up. I'm just observing it, right? Because it's made me realize that it's been I don't know how long it's been since I've had disturbed sleep, like probably where I've not just slept for fucking 6 to 8 hours straight through, or maybe go out once to go to the toilet, but not been disturbed, not been woken up constantly by fucking barking and yelping and just anxiety coming from the dogs next door.
Oh boy.
Earplugs.
No, earplugs lead to fucking ear infections. No. Anytime
That
I've
be-
used earplugs, if I've used earplugs for any, extended length of time, if I went to sleep with earplugs in, I'd get a fucking ear infection. I know I would.
Headphones.
Headphones come off. Headphones come off when I'm asleep. They just they come off. And earbuds, you can go to sleep with earbuds in, but what I'm gonna get, because I always end up laying on one side, right? And it's just it's just the way it is. Just gonna have to get fucking used to it. Oh, I'm not going to have to get used to it. She'll come off seasons in the next couple of days. She should be done. Dogs aren't in season for weeks, are they? They're in season for about a week.
You get along with your neighbor then?
Yeah.
Well, that's good that you're not a tool.
That's what I was saying earlier. Like everybody else is getting shitty about it and
Right.
complaining about it, but I put myself in his shoes, and I had a dog when I moved here, and ended up with 2 dogs. Thankfully, they were quiet, you know. But
Right.
If I'd had to leave Alfie, because he has to go to work, right? So he has to leave him. And
Right.
if I had to leave Alfie, he would have cried. He would have been crying with, you know, he had separation anxiety when I first got him, and I managed to, like, he kind of lost that. He didn't have it for years until COVID happened. And then COVID happened, and then I ended up spending 24/7 with him for months. And then after that, when I left him, his separation anxiety had come back, and he was crying every time I left him, and I couldn't stop him from doing it. There was like what I'd done before didn't work this time. So anyway, yeah, I just put myself in his shoes.
A lot of people don't do that.
He's doing the best he can, and he's got
Right.
2 gorgeous dogs. He looks after them. They're both healthy. They're both extremely well, you know, they're good-natured, just not around other dogs. They're not good with other dogs. They're good with each other, but not other dogs. Well, actually, no, they're okay with some other dogs. But Canito was so aggressive. They weren't okay with Canito. He was a little rat that they wanted to kill. But that's Canito's fault. Little dickhead thought he was a Rottweiler. Right. I brought this up. I know Wazzy wants to see it. She knows who Andy is. Andy the Gabby Cabby. I want to see what he's got to say about this. Who's that slurping?
Sorry, it's me, coffee.
Yeah, please, ASMR, not on with other.
Put yourself in my shoes.
Dude.
Put yourself in my shoes.
All right,
You
then.
just gotta.
I'll just mute you up. ASMR, dude. It's my pet hate.
Well, you know, one of the major things in this country, which we often debate, is the BBC, whether it's fit for purpose, how it operates as a media organisation, some of the stuff it pumps.
If it's fit for purpose, well, that's assuming you know what the purpose of the BBC is, Andy. The purpose of the BBC, if the purpose of the BBC has always been to mislead, misinform, and misdirect the public, then it's absolutely fit for purpose, and it's always been doing its job really well as well.
Like a musician.
It's just it's not working so much now because everybody's kind of becoming conscious of the fact.
Out, even members of their staff, presenters, people behind the scenes, and the fact that we are forced through the BBC TV license to pay for this monstrosity every single year. You know that
This obviously only applies to English people living in England. It doesn't apply to any of you guys.
first started, it was the pride of Britain, the national broadcaster, and many of us couldn't live without it. But over the years, slowly but surely, it's been whittled.
Many of us couldn't live without it. Andy, it was the only fucking channel for a good long time. BBC One and BBC Two. There weren't any other channels. Then the ITV came out in the ITV came out in like the 70s or something, I think. And then Channel 4 came out in the 80s. And then Channel 5 came out in the 90s. But for the first 20, 30 years or something, it was BBC One and BBC Two.
Yeah, Antenna TV.
Way to just this behemoth of wasted taxpayers' money, which gives us little in the way of return, apart from being a vaunted government mouthpiece, generally designed to spill government narrative to us over and over and over again. And of course, one of the consequences of this is very naturally.
And he's just admitted it there. He said generally designed to give us government narrative. So you already knows that's what they were designed to do. So they are fit for purpose.
People in their droves are cancelling their TV license because they've had just about enough of it. I'm one of those that cancelled my TV license. You have to be very clear that you've got to be in a position you don't watch live TV. I don't record anything off live TV. I don't watch BBC iPlayer. I don't do any of the things which would require you to have a BBC TV license. And they've even changed the wording of certain things to try and fool you into getting a license with things where you might not necessarily need one. It really is a big sham. Clownworld YT, and I'll give him a shout out now. Please go and subscribe to him if you haven't. My friend on YouTube, he did a very interesting video not so long ago where if you went on to the BBC TV license website, you have a situation where you say, I want to cancel the TV license, then give them a reason why you want to cancel the TV license. And then it comes up and it says you need to phone us. So you end up phoning them. And I've read report after report after report of people complaining cancelling the TV license is an impossibility. Now,
there's a I'm bored of this subject already, man. Sorry, but there's a guy called, I can't remember what his name is. He's Black Belt Barrister, the Black Belt Barrister on YouTube, and he's an English barrister. He's bald, and he does martial arts as well. So that's why he's called the Black Belt Barrister. And he has been basically telling them for years exactly the same thing, making a declaration. And he's doing it all properly. He's doing it absolutely legally, right? He's wording it correctly and everything. And they're still coming after him and trying to coerce him into paying this bloody license. He's like, you can remove, they have a right of entry, right? There's this right of entry in the UK where places like the BBC, like for this licensing, they can come up and knock on your door. They have right of access to come and knock on your door and ask you about your TV license. You can remove that right of access. You write to the BBC and you remove that right of access. You can remove it from everybody. You can remove everybody's right of access from from coming up and knocking on your door. So that anybody that comes to your door soliciting in some way is trespassing as soon as they set foot on your property. But it doesn't seem to make any difference. You know, they still...
Can we play with words here, Richie? Like these acronyms?
We never had a license for TV. We never had a license for TV.
What are you saying, Dom?
BBC, CBC, NBC. Most people put it in these three-letter acronyms, but they forget what it means. So in this case,
Fox.
BBC, British Broadcasting Corporation. So it's a corporation, first of all. What is broadcasting?
CBS.
Okay, CBS. Okay, Canadian Broadcasting. NBC.
NBC.
Okay. So knowing that, what is broadcasting? It's like spellcasting. Those are all programs.
The Black
So now
Mirror.
those folk, yes, thanks, Mac. Mac's my sidekick. I appreciate that, Mac. Yes,
No problem.
the Black Mirror. So knowing that, when people start saying these things, they don't realize that corporation does not work for the citizens of that company, for that country. They work actually for the corporation. So whatever information that they're broadcasting, for most of people, they're going to be programmed, but a lot of times they're talking past them. They're telling their fellow friends, this is what we're going to be doing in the future or now. So when people back in the day because they only had so much broadcasting. Our parents would say, I'd watch the 11 o'clock news or the 6 o'clock news. Today, they bombard us with all kinds of media. Anyway.
Yep.
Wazzy, I'm really sorry to say this, my dear, but I absolutely 100% disagree with you. I thought she was until she proved that she's just like the rest of them, and she'll only say she won't talk about anything that's going to get her
her goat going.
No, it's gonna be maybe a bit controversial, and also she's been linked into this thing. Right, there's an ex-police officer that's been investigating Company's House and all the companies that are registered at Company's House, and he's uncovered some extremely damning information, basically proof that Company's House is just completely booky. It's not a legitimate, organization, whatever. They don't do the checks that need to be done on all these businesses that are being registered with them. And there's some of these addresses of these businesses. Like, I think Sonia owns a business or has shares in a business whose address is linked to some extremely questionable shit, right? Human trafficking type shit. Gary Waterman, that's it. So she works for them. She's not a legitimate journalist. She's controlled opposition. She's a useful idiot. So I don't pay attention to anything that she says. Sorry. Anyway, maybe not. I'm bored of fucking. I didn't realise this was just about TV licenses. That's only relevant to English people. Oh, here we go. Neil McCoy Ward.
Yes, I was hoping you could explain this TV license because did you pay for it or how was it over there?
A TV license in the UK. If you've got a television,
yeah,
you're asked to, or if you've got anything that's capable of receiving a television. A live broadcast. So now, even if you buy a phone, if you buy a smartphone,
you get a license
in a phone shop, you'll get a letter. You'll get a letter from the BBC saying that you need to buy a license because now you can watch BBC live broadcasts.
No.
And for decades, people paid it, and if you don't pay it, they take you to court. And I remember growing up, there'd be adverts on the TV where it would be really threatening adverts where they had these people in a van driving around, and they had a dish on the top of their van, and they could check out and they could be outside your house and know exactly what you're watching. And if you haven't got a license, you're in trouble, and it's going to be a big fine. And
holy shit!
Right? So they coerce people into paying the license, but over the last 20 years or so, people have been realizing that the BBC's shit and they don't want to watch it anymore. So they don't watch it anymore. And then they say, well, why do I have to pay a license if I'm not fucking watching it? Why do I have to pay a license for it? And you don't. And the wording of everything makes everybody believe that they have to, but in actual fact, they don't. It's bullshit. It's typical... corporate bullshit trying to just trick people into paying them.
Yeah.
Changing the subject. Go on.
So you had people putting antennas up in your attics so you can't see them on the roofs. Is that what they did too?
No. Just no, because there was no, according to the adverts, there was no escaping There was no escaping. They knew. They could detect your signal from 2 miles away.
Wow.
They really laid it on thick. But changing the subject, let's talk about another
All right,
dickhead.
gotcha.
Keir fucking Starmer. Has anybody heard that he's apparently that veterans to be called up? Keir Starmer's talking about if you're 65 years old in the UK, expect to sign up to the reserves, to be called up to the reserves. It's what they were doing in Ukraine because they got no young men to fight for them anymore. Where in the UK, no men are going to fight for them, and they know that. They know that, like, there's the British Army now, apparently, British Armed Forces, you can fit into a football stadium. The entire British Armed Forces, you can fit into a football stadium now.
Well, you're our allies, so you got us too.
Eh?
We're your allies, so you got us too.
Yeah. Well, that whole relationship is on tender hooks right now, isn't it?
Yeah, because of certain people.
Dickhead.
Okay, are you ready for this one? You're going to say, Neil, this can't be real, what you're talking about today. This can't be real. Actually, it is real. This is breaking news. This has just been announced. I mean, Keir Starmer has got to be the worst prime minister in British history, and he just makes it worse and worse and worse every day. Just when you think he can't do anything more insane, he goes and does this. Are you ready? Here we go. Veterans age 65 told to prepare for war. This is not a joke. It's out of the Telegraph. This just came out. MOD is set to increase the age at which retired soldiers or the Strategic Reserve can be called upon. This
All right. So,
Shit.
is anybody starting to get the impression that just everything that they're doing, they're trying to push people's buttons? They are deliberately trying to do whatever they can to get people furious.
I can't fight no war even
Up
at
in
60.
arms. I was thinking to myself, I was going to say, like if I was in England, I wouldn't have to worry.
I'll fight a half a day.
I'm 48. I'm not of
Spring chicken.
prescription age, right? It's what's the cut off? 35 or something. I
Yep.
think.
Then you're president.
So yeah, I'd be all right, 48. But no, apparently, if they're asking for 65-year-old veterans to prepare, then they're probably going to be asking 48-year-old men.
Yeah. Well, they'll be running the show.
Again, guys, you sign an oath. When people
Yep,
join
you
the
signed an oath.
military, and if you understand business, what's the purpose of having a bunch of people 65 years old or over going to war? Well, there's a lot of stocks involved in them. Are they pensioners? Yes. Again, they can change.
hell
those,
yeah.
but again, it's one of those things where people don't realize just because your country might say, okay, we don't force you to war when we're at peace. When we're not at peace, you're all fair game.
Well, yeah, it's on the nose for foreign and domestic. How come they're not doing nothing about it? You know what I'm saying?
Say it again, Mac. What do you mean by foreign or domestic?
Well, you said an oath, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in
If you
that
joined
oath,
the
you say
army.
foreign and domestic. What about the domestic stuff that's going around in their own neighborhood? They ain't doing shit about it.
That may be true, but the thing is, our Army's corporation.
Yes, yes.
So at that point, again, this is where people think that, oh, the government's here for us. No, you're an afterthought. The wording actually tells it, hence legalese. People just think legalese is just based on court. No, you sign,
Right.
you're allegiant to that military base or whatever. Now, it's under the disguise of thinking I'm fighting for my country. No, you're fighting for corporations.
Yeah, you are just a
Definitely.
at the end of the day.
I didn't see that when I was younger, though.
No, most of them don't. That's why they try to get you before you're 25, because you're not even mentally, brain-wise
I was
developed.
brainwashed totally by the TV, man. Totally brainwashed.
And probably by your community too, Mac.
I'm just saying. I mean, most of us people were. They don't understand
Yeah.
it. It's just like that was my babysitter, you know, and
Dare not take a human life. Now you got to deal with something else.
yeah.
Yeah, it's sure there's a lot of skills you can learn if you want to learn about tanks and all that kind of stuff. But dare
I'm
not
just glad I
actually,
woke up.
dare not actually have to point a gun to another human being, and
No.
not for defense purpose, just because hey, I'm fighting for. Excuse me, what are you fighting for again? You know, that's why
War.
they've done studies on that. Only a small percentage of people will literally kill another human being. That's why they play with drones or hide you behind a tank or
Yes.
a missile.
Me, I couldn't touch a person or hurt somebody, but somebody's messing with my family, that goes all out the window.
It could be,
You know?
but then what use are you once they remove you? Your family's still fair game.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, you know.
But there's
And-
this veterans. Yeah, it does actually say veterans, which means people who have previously served in the army. So basically, yeah,
Corporal lieutenants.
65-year-olds who signed that oath when they were 18 years old.
Yeah. There'll be corporals and lieutenants and stuff.
They could be, or they could be beanbags.
I think what an excellent way to, like you said, 65, that's the age that people draw their pension in the UK. So basically it's sending a load of new pensioners off to be disposed of.
Sure, they do. Now, if you're fortunate enough, you might be able to take it at 60, take the percentage loss. But especially when you follow stats, why would I want to take it at 65 when I know the average age for most people in certain countries is 70, 73?
My dad's intention was to retire at 40, and then that got pushed back to 50, and then that got pushed back to 60, and now he's 70. He's 75 now, and the private pension that he'd paid all his money into is completely gone, dead.
I'm sorry to hear that from Richie. Yeah.
Didn't, and he's having to rely on the state pension, which is not enough now. They've been absolutely, they've rinsed the state pension.
And we live in somewhat developed countries. In those underdeveloped countries, those things aren't there.
No.
And if we're going
No, I
towards
don't-
that direction, how much people that we've been born in this system are going to say, so we have to give up all that? Well, first of all, your masters gave it to us, now they can take it away.
I don't think they've got a pension in here in Spain.
No,
it's definitely not the same system.
No, they did some cruel things in Spain where they were allowing corporations to go in there, and then if they decide to pull out, they don't have to be accountable for the people that they hired.
Mm.
And they've done that in Italy and all that. So here in countries like Canada and in America, I don't know about America as much, but it's probably very similar, where if you're no longer working, you get the government to give you like unemployment. Where other countries like, no, why would we? We're about economics. We're not about socialism. America, if they do that, they're kind of a socialist country too, because free enterprise would turn around and say, no, you work, you get paid. You don't work, we don't pay you. So you teachers have days are sick, we don't pay you. That's a true capitalist system. But if you expect to get paid for a day's work that you didn't do any work, that's a social system. And there's advantages to a social system, but how does it run economically? Are we just going to keep printing money? We're going to do the greenback that Kennedy and Abraham Lincoln talked about. They both got a bullet in the forehead for that thought. All systems are intertwined. Sorry, go ahead, Rich.
I forget who it was I was watching the other day, but he had somebody on that was talking about the fact that I think it was on the Jimmy Dore show. I'm not sure, but this guy was talking about how we hear all the horror stories about the horrible socialist countries, but we don't hear any of the actual good stories about where socialism has actually worked and improved risen people out of poverty, right? And China, we talked about China and India. We talked about the other day. Have got the highest middle class. Like they've got a huge middle class. So is socialism that bad? Is communism that bad? If they've risen, if they've brought people out of poverty, if it's brought people out of poverty, and created a much bigger middle class, is it really that bad?
I guess, Richie, when they talk about democracy, communism, Marxism, socialism, they're not talking about including corporations in it. China is about corporation. America, Canada, it's about corporation. That has nothing to do with communism. Now, it could be in it a socialism system where the the bus system is run by corporations. So they give budgets and future generations have to pay for it. It doesn't work if we're looking at it from that point of view. But when Americans talk about capitalism, I'm like, how does it work if all those corporations leave your country? Then we can actually start thinking socialism might work, Marxism might work, socialism might work, liberalism. You could put whatever ism on top of it. But when people are talking about communism or socialism, how does it work without all those major players? It doesn't. We might have to go back to the old ways, which a lot of people probably would embrace for a short period of time. It would take generations to get used to. So we got to go to work and fend for our chickens, protect them from the goats. From the foxes and all that. Every time we go to a gas station, go ahead, Richie.
I just see this, socialism, communism, democracy, and fascism, or socialism, communism, and fascism. They all end up. It all ends up being the same thing, right? The communism only works because of the fascistic nature of the controlling entities, right? So like now it's a technocracy. It doesn't matter what the governments do or what laws they bring out. If the corporations introduce these measures into society and you can't use their services without digital ID, or like if all the corporations suddenly decided that they just wanted to start making everybody use digital ID, it wouldn't matter if the government brought it in law or not. If you can't use X and if you can't use Apple products or X or Android products or or Google or anything without a digital ID,
right?
People are going to go and get digital IDs, aren't they? So that they can use these services because of the supposed benefits that these services bring us.
Yep.
Yeah.
Again,
and the convenience and everything.
Again, those are policies, and we have rulers. It's always
fun way to find to get money from us.
Well, you're working for it, first of all, Mac. And then they're going to say, you work for our money, and we're going to try to take it back from you. So it's not yours. Unless you're able to print it, it's not yours. You've given up your energy for it. So I always find it funny when people talk about laws. What humans do is called policies and rules. Letter of the laws is a reason for those terms. It's because land, air, water, and space, it monitors over nature. Nature's wild and untamed. Humans don't have that governance. So when they say laws, they're erroneously using it. But I get when people say, but you know what I mean? I said, no, there's different words to explain that. It's policies. So when governments are saying that they're counting on other people to do the telephone game, there's no laws in court. That's Commerce Court. They're enforcing policies that their corporations have made. If people don't understand that, then why would a country that openly talks about being democracy deal with another country that's openly communism? Because it's about corporations and commerce.
It's about business.
Yes, it's always about business.
Business is all about business.
Sure it is. And most of us bought into it. I go to work as an electrician because it's about business. I can't just go to the grocery store. Listen, time out. I might do some plugs for you in exchange for those apples. You have a contract with me? What do you mean? Are you licensed? Are you mastered? Are you having an insurance? Well, no. I said, well, then I guess you're going to have to give us the means of exchange here, which is a piece of paper or PayPal account or some credit card. It's usually
Does your wife call you Sparky?
my buddies call me Sparky.
That was a pet name your wife would give you. Come to bed, Sparky.
I'm already there. I'm already there. Go ahead, guys.
I'm already.
Let an electrician check your shorts.
We're all talking about like digital money and stuff. Like it's just around the corner and it's not here. It is already here. Like PayPal, like you said, PayPal. Without a smartphone and an application, I have no access to money because you don't know so it's
we're the frog in the water. Sorry, Richie. Right. We're the frog in the. We're already in it. It's just when they start implementing the other types of digital system, when they put an expiry date on it or a credit system on it, that's a different game now. I mean, what do you mean if I work as an electrician, I make $1,000, I have 3 months to spend this? Or it starts devaluing. What's that?
You have 30 days.
Yeah.
you have until your next pay date to spend it.
Now, people will turn around and say, I don't agree with it. Regardless if you agree or disagree, I'm telling you the way the system they're talking about. United Nations openly talks about this stuff. Now, whether or not they can implement it, as most of us are using all this different technology, it's only happening in China. Are you sure it's only happening in China? They talk about immigrants. There's many Chinese throughout the world. That United Nations mandate of 1 child per family is starting to kick in now because they gave them the option to go to other countries that have more than 1 child.
And they get, so like in Portugal and Spain, there is an extraordinary number of, we just call them Chinese shops. And in these Chinese shops, you can get everything that you can get on Alibaba, AliExpress, silly little electronic gadgets that break in a couple of days and little just crap, just loads of crap. And you can get some good things, you can get some useful things like some, kitchen implements and stuff. There's some stuff that you can buy that, it doesn't matter if you've got it from the Chinese shop. But if you want to, they do clothes and all kinds of stuff. And I spent for a couple of years, I was buying all my clothes and my shoes and everything from a Chinese shop just because it was so bloody cheap. But it meant that I had to buy new clothes and new shoes every 3 months because it all just wore out. But they've got tax breaks. They don't have to pay any tax at all to the Spanish government. And there's whole communities of Chinese people. Like they've taken over whole apartment blocks and stuff, and it's just Chinese people there. And there's some story that it's a deal with the Chinese mafia, and they get tax breaks, right?
Yeah, and if you're in clubs, if you're in big clubs, you get that same. Some people might call it allodial titles, but you have that same thing where you don't have to pay tribute through the government. So they might pay other kinds of things. They might pay membership fees. So I don't pay taxes, but I pay something else. Sure you do. You're in a club. You want some of the privileges that we as club members give. I'm not saying I'm in a club, but I'm actually in a human club.
You're in the married club.
The married club.
Yep.
Did you send me that message Chris? Are you still there? Did you send me that message in Signal when the internet went? Yeah, I'm fine, mate. Sorry.
What incident?
No, I lost it all shut down, didn't it?
Yeah, I was watching that. I was like, what the hell happened?
Yeah. Gremlins.
I was going to come on panel, and all of a sudden, boom, the show's over. It's like, what happened? Somebody porn bomb?
Gremlins. The Gremlins.
You were hitting the narrative they didn't want you to say.
Yeah, maybe. Could have been.
Maybe, but just more likely some glitch with either my laptop or the server or or whatever. Yeah.
I guess, Richie, when I hear certain topics, when people don't realize the agenda that's occurring, and it's slowly occurring, and it's accelerating, being a nationalist doesn't really serve in the system. So to be a British or Canadian or an American or an Italian, and say I'm a nationalist, I said, but it's already shown that we've gone global. So it would be better to understand the global system before people are trying to hang on to a national system. Like England's just a part of it. They've been playing with a fake currency for the who knows how many decades now. It's been hoisted up. Same with the American currency. So to be concerned about whether or not the British policies are doing that, you must look at all the Commonwealth countries. That's including America, because that land is still being ruled by the monarchy. And then you start realizing, okay, New Zealand's doing one thing, Australia's doing another thing, India and China, even though they put their own type of people ruling it, it's still being ruled by the monarchy. And if not them, it's the Vatican. If it's not the Vatican, it's rich Arabs. And then we can get a better scope, especially with this type of technology. Like most people don't even understand what's going on in their small little towns, but yet they want to look at a bigger picture and say, well, this is what they're doing in England. I say, yeah, you're looking at all your puppets. What are we going to bring Thatcher back? She's a puppet. Same with the Prime Minister or a Chancellor of Germany. They're puppets. They're middle management. You need them there to distract the citizens, or at least to have a fall guy or a fall woman, if you want to be politically correct and say both women and men. And this is what they bombard us with on a regular basis, opposed to using discernment and saying, okay, so how does this serve to know whether or not America or Canada is going to do this? Like here in Canada, we have the maid service. So people can opt to listen. I'll just take whatever needle, but not realize.
I'm still absolutely gobsmacked that has become a thing, and that not only that, they're expanding it, and they're basically, if you're depressed now, if you're depressed and just want to exit, you can, and even if you're a child, even if you're 18 years old, but you've had enough and you want to exit, you can.
Yep. It's a different way of euthanizing.
It's like, in a way, it's like, well, if that's what people want to do, they should have a right to do that. But then on the other hand,
well, Richie, here's an example. Sorry, Richie, I'll give you a personal example. My father had cancer for a year. He was in the hospital. The surgery, if people had to actually pay for it out of your own pocket, and the amount of time he had to spend in the hospital and recuperate, and then basically go back into remission, go back into cancer and all that, my mom would have sold everything and been broke. For some people, it's a financial decision. Now, what they need to understand is what happens when you do the maid service. You're literally drowning in your own saliva. Most people never get to that point. So as long as you're under a social system, the government will pay for it or pass it on to the next generation. But if you actually have to pay for it and factor in the cost, are people going to leave their family crippled? I'm not here to encourage the maid service. I'm just seeing some of the parts where people are going to buy into it. They're going to use those decisions to make those decisions. Would you want to actually run up a bill for hundreds of thousands of dollars to do chemotherapy, regardless if it works or not, in exchange for your parents not to be in debt if it doesn't work? See, a lot of it, most people don't realize, it's always about business. It's always when people say, Dom, the money is the bottom line. I say, I'll find out in a short period of time, it's the only line. We've been trained this way. I'm always suspicious when somebody says, Dom, it's not about money. I say, okay, now I got a lot of questions to ask.
Squirrel, you know how I feel about perceptions, right? And the names and labels that we give things. And as soon as you recognize them as this, that it has an entire narrative. There are hierarchies, and there's authorities and all sorts of stuff given to these characters that we're told to perceive as archons or as demons. But what they are is they're spiritual beings without a physical presence in this realm, which means that they have no authority to make any physical changes in this realm. But we do have the authority to make physical changes in this realm. So by that token, technically we're more powerful than they are, which means that we must actually have authority over them, because we get to decide whether to do what they influence us into doing or not, right? That's up to us if we choose to do whatever it is we think we're being told or led or guided to do. So giving them that name is a whole big part of it. It gives it its costume, its role in the movie. Your role in the movie is to be an archon, and as an archon, well, there's this entire narrative attached to that all instills fear and powerlessness, and all of these. It gives this entity some sort of perceived authority that it doesn't have. Because if it did, it would be physically manifest in this realm. I think it's easier to override the system by redefining the entity.
It sounds like archons means the builder of the material world.
No, archons are the spirit. They're of the spiritual.
Oh, okay.
They're the Decepticons.
They're demons. Archons are what the Bible translated as demons or jinn. Like they're
Decepticons.
It's different. It's different names. No, that's the tiny hats. But they're different names for the same entities.
So I guess the question is, who's giving us all this technology then? Like Wi-Fi, cars, airplanes. There must be somebody giving it. Humans are building it. I get that part.
Right. So
who told the humans?
It could be argued that in my paradigm, cheeky monkeys inspired man to create the technology that would allow them to manifest more, like not physically manifest, although Elon Musk's trying to build fucking robots that can carry artificially intelligent robots. Well, maybe those are potential hosts for cheeky monkeys, right? So they're trying to become physically manifest, override the original creation by getting it to recreate the same thing again, but without the authority. We cannot do what has already been done. We cannot create life.
Mm-hmm.
Or we can have sex with each other, and we can let the magic work where apparently the one of a million sperm goes and fertilizes an egg, and then the magic happens. We don't really understand how that magic happens, but it does. We know that if the egg is fertilized, it will split into 2, and then into 4, and then into and it will become a baby, right? But we don't know how that programming works. We don't know. We got this idea about DNA sequencing and shit, but at the end of the day, it's really.
So are we reproducing at that point, Richie? Sorry, are we reproducing? Sorry, are we reproducing at that point, or manipulating?
Yeah.
Because we're not creating the sun and the moon. We're not creating the mod. We could probably dam up water, but we're not literally creating water. So that is a creation. So when I look at creation, it's very angle-ish. I'm going to use the word angle. Curves. And that's more harmony and chi. What humans basically download whatever information we're getting from something, it's about angles. So at that point, could the archons, whatever these things are, literally be the builders through channeling, through downloading somebody? The guy wakes up in the morning and says, I got a script to write now. Oh, okay. So there's some validity to words to maybe label things. Now, are they cheeky monkeys? Again, you're using a word. They could be demons. Are there demons here to serve? I don't know.
In my the way it works for me, in my experience, right, that I am having my experience. I'm not having anybody else's experience.
True.
And nobody else is having my experience. I'm the only one having my experience. It's a subjective experience, and I can agree with shit or I can disagree with it. And these unseen entities, because of my free will, I can choose how to perceive them. They exist. They're real. But they're part of the system, right? They're part of this. They're part of this realm. There's as many bad entities there are good entities, right?
What
It's
about the
yin and
concept?
yang.
I was going to say, Richie, what about the concept that you have free will from other humans, but in that other realm, anybody can play with anybody? Because I get the whole concept of free will versus determinism, but the fact that we have a language we have to speak, is there such thing as free will? I get the ideal of a will, and you can have a receiving will, a closed-minded will, but the word free to me is very suspicious.
This is why dabbling in the spirit realm is it's a potentially hazardous
It can be.
place to be in the spirit realm, because in the spirit realm we're only spirit, right?
It's always dangerous in the material realm too, as I go into a car.
But in the material realm we're embodying both.
Yes,
Body and spirit.
I'm with you on that, Richie.
This is where we have we have authority in this realm, and I'm not saying that we have authority over these entities outside of this realm, right? Or in the other realm that they're from. Maybe it's more of a level playing field there. I don't know, but the cheeky monkeys are the ones that are just like Dana believes in demons. There are demonic spirits. I think there are some really, really dark entities, but I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna embolden that spirit or give it any power by imagining what it looks like, like it's some horrible fucking demonic creature. I think we talked about it a few days ago. You said it, Dom. All is mind, right? All of these things are going on in our mind. They're not actually, it's not actually happening in real physical, none of these things have actually happened. That we're like, no demonic spirit has ever tried to take over my soul or make me do something that will damn me for life, or it's all these horror stories of things that might happen or could happen, but the only place it happens is in our mind.
Well, in the mind, I make it quite clear. This is where the people use the word Kabbalah. You can receive information from the mind. What you're probably talking about more is the brain. So now, in between those two things, can demons or cheeky monkeys play within the mind? Sure, they can. We're receivers. We're antennas. Can somebody actually send other frequencies to interfere or misguide? Sure, they can.
I'm talking about the mind, but not the brain, because I don't think that although it feels like, you close your eyes and it feels like things are playing out here in your mind, right? But I just think that's just, I don't know why that happens, because I don't think it's going on in my brain.
No,
It's going on in my mind's eye.
it's in the mind,
My brain might actually be projecting that.
and we have many
Right?
brains.
It's a
By the way,
transmitter, a transmitter, receiver, processing. You know, yeah, we have 4 brains as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah,
we don't have 3. We have 4. We have the brain in the head, the heart, the stomach, and the reproductive.
And they're all
area.
receivers. That's why people say, I have a gut feeling. Okay, so you have a gut feeling. Where are you receiving it from? This is where
My heart tells me.
Yeah, exactly. And because she's intuitive. Most women are, because they're a reproducing species. So now at that point, a person will look at the, the pyramid, and then you have that little piece that separates. That's the mind. This is when they talk about the third eye, you're receiving information. You're literally from image of God. Nobody's ever seen God. Man. That's the image. This is why we use the word mint and many words. You're using the mind. But most people think the mind and the brain are the same thing. They're not. I know I'm using words, but the mind is subjective. The objective is when you receive that information. So when I hear people say it's my mind, I said, again, you're having possession. You're in it. Breath of life, you're in it. It's around you. You breathe it on a regular basis, and it can actually trend. It's like a carrier. The air, breath of life, it carries everything. So thoughts. This is why when people say I had a near-death experience, I saw this bright light. I said, you didn't see the sun and moon, did you? No, I saw a light. There you go. You got it.
Well,
and at that, go ahead, Richie.
Not everybody sees a light.
No, they don't.
And also, I don't think. I think your consciousness might leave your body, but it's not.
We're actually in consciousness too.
When they say people have died and then they're brought back to life, they haven't died. Their heart stopped, and they've stopped breathing. So technically, they've died, right? But in Hindu? I think it's the Hindus say it's your body, your body, your spirit is still connected to your body for, I don't know, it's something between 3 and 7 days. I forget how many days it is, but you have a number of days afterwards, and that's the whole story of the Book of the Dead. When you die, you go through these situations where each time you come to a demon, and you're supposed to be able to recognize that the demon is you. So you shouldn't be afraid of the demon, because the demon is you. And each time, if you're still afraid of the demon, it comes back bigger and scarier and bigger and scarier, until you realize that it is you. You're the fucking, you're the demon.
Now, question, Richie. Okay, just to follow the conversation. Did I ever say the word die?
I don't remember.
No,
You just did.
No, thank you. I said the word death. Big difference. Yes. Death actually in a tarot card means transformation. So when somebody has a near-death experience, they had a near transformation. Dying, your body's always dying. It's aging, whatever word you want. You're going to eventually pop out of that suit. Now, they might turn around and say, well, Dom, I don't believe that. I said, oh, here's a non-believer. So how does the body work? So I clearly use those words. Now, a person said, but Dom, what you meant? I said, no, I understand the meaning of language. So dying is a totally different thing. Death is what I'm talking about. So when somebody says, Dominic, I've seen the light, I said, from what position? You're coming from the darkness. That's why we use the word enlightenment. I would use the word I opposed to E.
That's enlightenment. I'll just remind us all that we're doing all of this. We're using English words.
Exactly.
Right, to describe this. And English was specifically designed to not allow us to do this properly, effectively, I think it was designed to keep us running around in circles.
That's right. I'm with you, Richie. And that's why when you use the English language, you have to put that much more effort in clarity. It's not like Greek, which is a comprehension language, or Sanskrit's a healing language. So if we're going to use this language, we really have to have clarity with each other. Because if not, I could use the word cool to mean many things. So my clarity is, what are we talking about when we say the word cool? And for a lot of folks, they just kind of, I'm reacting, Dom. You know what I mean? I said, or they'll say shit like, Dom, you know, it's different. Well, everything's different at that point. So are we really trying to share with each other, or are we just trying to prove our points? This is where people get into arguments with each other. I get frustrated from it because I realize, Dom, what are you really trying to convey? You know, are you trying to convey it to yourself and you're just speaking out loud? Are you trying to have an interaction with Richie, which I'm trying to, but at the same time, I find myself interceding. So, Dom, you're better off going by yourself and having this conversation then. This is not an offense to anybody else here, because I really be offending myself at that point. So when we're using words, we really shouldn't be upset. We should be searching for clarity. So what do you mean when you say that? And I usually will use the word, what do you mean? It's like when somebody said, Dom, what are you thinking? Oh, he's not asking for a feeling question. He's asking for a thinking question. So he's using reason. You know, it's like some people say to other people, well, you think too much. Well, maybe you just don't think enough. I don't know. What am I supposed to say to you besides that?
There's, I think it's Christianity that teaches that thinking is actually bad. It's not we shouldn't think too much. I'm sure it's Christianity or Catholicism. And there is some truth in that, right? It's if you don't know your own thought, if you don't know thyself, and if you're not able to recognize your own thoughts from other, you've got to not believe. Like I don't believe that intrusive thoughts are not my thoughts. I know they're not my thoughts because
they're the same thing,
right?
Spirits living through our ego mind.
Well, that's how do you separate the ego mind from the other minds? And what are the other minds? If there's the ego mind, you have the spiritual mind. The ego mind would be the physical mind. But is that the brain, or is that the
body has its own consciousness.
The mental projection of the physical ego? What was you say? Sorry, mate.
I was going to say the body has its own consciousness. And that's why when people go into a coma, it still functions. That is actually what's called the ego. What people call the self, that's the ongoing software. That's when you're awake and you're using your senses. So when people talk about a killing of the body's already dying, but people can communicate with that vessel, your suit, whatever word you want, your temple. You know, so, but it's always fun when I hear people say, yeah, well, my ego, your ego's set up for fight or flight. So when we're having intellectual conversations online, the ego should not be it should be distracted. What do you mean? It shouldn't. I got to beat you up now. It had nothing to do with your body. You know, people will use their passion. You know, this is why when they say you think too much, well, that means the door has to close, so another door has to open. Are you lacking your feelings or your intuitive aspect? People can overthink things. I know that about me because I'm under a certain sign. And it encourages that. But I could be very anal or meticulous about things, where other people, they pursue things differently. They're more the feeling type. I feel too. I just don't have to show my cards all the time. Where other people are they're feelers, but they don't always have to show their card analytically. This is how we transmute and become better for oneself. You know, that's the concept of know thyself. Who's the knower and who's the self? The self is the ongoing program. It's like me talking to some software. I said, okay, so what's the hard drive? And what body are you in, by the way? I'm in a telephone. I'm in a phone. I'm in a laptop. We're basically mimicking on the unknown realm into the known realm. And most of the stuff that we make is lesser than what is actually ultimately there. It's kind of what people would call immortal. But
I think that's what all of our technology is based on. It's all based on what we're actually what we used to be physically capable of.
True. I'm with you, Richie. Yeah.
Like communicating with each other wirelessly by telepathy, you know. What's it called? When you see something far away. Fuck. Not astral projection. The other one.
Intuition.
Remote
No.
viewing. Remote viewing.
Remote viewing. It's like remote viewing, I think, is something that's comes naturally to mothers, right? They have a connection to their children. Like the amount of mums that I've spoken to that have said that they can in their mind they can see when you know, when they've wanted to, when they've been concerned, not knowing where they're, you know, if their child's okay, where they are, what they're doing, whatever, they've basically remote viewed them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, spiritually connected. They have a bond. They're childbearing. So when a mother says, I sense my child's hurt or in trouble, and then you get those women that they're in harm's way and they get this, or their children's in harm's way, they get this extra strength because we're probably more spirit than we are physical. But we're contained in a vessel. Now, whether or not people want to think it's a trap, it's a learning school, whatever. At that point, it's like you can entertain all kinds of ideal. It's usually the one that wants to convince you. I said, I already told you I'm a believer. I'll believe whatever story you tell me.
You beat me to it with that joke, Mysterious. I was basically waiting for an opportunity to say something, but I was too engaged in the conversation, and so the comment was left up here for ages. Squirrels discovered something huge. I discovered something huge this morning. But yeah, anyway, I want to know what that is. Squirrel, you should come up here and tell us about it.
Was it moving the sheets by any chance, Richie? This thing that you were saying.
Well, I didn't need to say anything, did I? You all know where I was going with that one. But yeah, Squirrel, I have a feeling that it's just going to basically further confirm what. I mean, what I'm saying. I don't think I'm saying anything different to what. I don't know if Jason's talked about it like that, in the way that I've talked about it, but I haven't heard him talking about changing the identity of the unseen spirits that fuck around with us. But it involves Marconi. Well, come and tell us, dude. And you are not your thoughts. Sit back and casually observe. Yeah, that's the point. Says and Debs. That's a
struggle for people. Yeah, struggle, Rich.
Well, yeah, that was what my 3 weeks of, meditation and stuff and mantras and whatever the other one is. Right, mantra you say in your mind, and the other one you say out loud. Right. A lot of people think that mantra is the one that you say out loud, but it's not. That's the one you say in your mind. But 3 weeks of that focusing on my thoughts, and basically discarding most of them for the first couple of weeks because they weren't mine.
Yeah, I would recommend people, if they ever have a chance, to do a 10-day Vipassana silent retreat. It'll help reset your body, and it'll make you, well, for me it did anyway, where are those thoughts coming from? Really? You think that way, Dom? Why? The why question is the wisdom part of me, trying to question those things. But again, people struggle with the concept of the observer because they think they're the experiencer. I said, you are experiencing, but you're observing probably way more than you are experiencing.
Oh, sorry. I've just got to message my boss and find out see if I'm going to be working tonight or not.
I hope you get some work in today, Rich. Well, you're working right now, Rich, whether people want to acknowledge it or not. Yeah, I don't think I've ever actually had Squirrel up. Like I don't think I've ever heard Squirrel talk, so it would be enjoyable to hear. I don't even know if it's a male or a female.
Squirrel, normally when he phones in, he's up a tree or something.
with some nuts.
He's a tree surgeon. The reason I'm asking is that's prompted me to find out about work tonight, because he said he's driving home. He'll be home in 25 minutes. And if I'm working tonight, I'm going to wrap this stream up at 3 p.m. If I'm not working tonight, then we can keep going like we did yesterday.
By the way, sorry guys. I know Mac's been trying to share things. I apologize for cutting you guys off.
Yeah, when I started meditating, I pay attention to my thoughts, and it's like, geez, where's this thought coming from? It's not me. And then I just started diving into it more and trying to figure things out. And when I figured it out, life's been better. But that was a problem through all my life when I was younger. I'm calling it the ego mind. I mean, I was doing stupid shit, you know. I had my conscience go, don't do that. Oh, but that candy bar, I can get it for free and no consequences, and you get busted. And it's like, damn, then I feel remorseful for doing it. And it's like, damn. Why wouldn't they teach the kids about this shit when they're younger? A lot of these kids' problems would be solved.
Mm-hmm. I'm with you there. You know, like, you know, some of those intrusion thoughts, are they trustworthy? Am I willing to question those things? You know, like obviously we're married, me, you, Mac. Some of those thoughts come from our wives.
Oh yeah, yeah. My wife's made me a better person.
Yeah, if we can help each other become better people, pass it forward.
Yeah.
You know, I had a tough time with myself, trusting myself, but I could trust somebody in my life. My wife has shown that she's trustworthy, so now I use that as my template. I made it my own because it wouldn't be fair to say, oh, I'm always going to turn towards Judith. You know, some people could say that with their parents, with their friends. You know, like with my buddies, I said, listen, guys, I'm going to share things with you. I don't expect you to trust me. I'm hoping that you trust yourself. Now, if they're going to be honest and say, Dominic, I don't think I'm trustworthy. I don't think I can trust myself. I said, okay, well, then look at other people and see qualities of them. Like I trust Richie, you know, in a short period of time I've known him, that he's going to share what he's going to share.
Right.
You know, when people debate each other, what are they really saying? Are they saying they don't trust them or they don't trust themselves?
Yeah. Yeah, me and my wife had a lot of issues. You know, she's stubborn and her ego, and we had like a lot of arguing and a lot of bullshit. And when I woke up, I explained to her how to do it, and then she woke up. We don't fight anymore. I mean, it's much better that way.
But
we see how it was controlling it. But we seen how it was controlling us, though.
But you had to go through it. So at that point, you went from to experience it and learn from it. Like some people don't really learn from those experiences.
No, they don't.
And some people do.
And they're with each other for 45 years and they're getting divorced. What the hell's that about?
Well, for some of them, it's obligation or duty. They're together and they're either thinking it's going to change, somebody's going to change, but they forget, okay, if you're not seeing the change, then be the change.
Right.
You know, but I don't want to change it. So then how can you expect somebody else to change then? Or shift, whatever word. You know. That's why I think control to a certain point can be very harmful to a person.
Yeah.
Got to control my
I wanted to
environment.
control her. Yeah, I wanted to control her, and she wanted to control me. But she's more stubborn and got more will than I do, so I just gave in. It's like fuck it.
Well, at that point,
That was younger. That's when we were
Yeah.
younger.
well, that's how we learn. Some people can learn at a young age. Most of us have to learn at an older age and say, okay, that's not working for me anymore. So then what do I do? Try anything else outside of that? Because usually you're going to mirror somebody or you're going to project, and somebody says, yeah, but they're trying to control me. I said, okay, so that means you must know what control is. And how is it working for you? It's not. I get if you're living by yourself, you can do whatever you want. But if you're going to interact with other people, whether work colleagues or loved ones, how does it work? And don't think just because they're children, you're still trying to relate with them, communicate with them. No kid wants to be controlled. And then if they do, then what, I want to be into the babysitting business? You know, and this is where people forget. Don't expect the government to do things for you. And if they make you a promise, be very suspicious. And when you're suspicious, bring out your spidey senses if you like spiders. You know, when I hear people say things like that, I'm like, I got a lot more questions to ask now. And I usually go inwards because I realize more times than not, people that are consciously doing that, they're not going to answer my questions. It's usually the ones that are naive and they'll try to defend it. I'm like, okay, so how does it serve you that you're serving that thing, you know, out of ignorance? Because if a person's truly aware of what they're doing, they're not going to defend or attack others. You know, it's like when people use the word truth. I'm like, you just use the word truth. Why would you say that out loud? You know, it's like a person that says the word Christian. If you're a Christian, do I need to know you're a Christian? Like, what are we, like Formula One, where we have all those patches on us? Say, I represent Nike, Adidas, the Truth Movement, the Deception Movement. By the way, Richie I got a new patch called the Cheeky Monkey Movement.
The cheeky monkey.
Great words to play with.
I've already voiced my opinion on the word truth. What's truth and what's true? And the difference between what's true and what's true.
Thanks for, by the way, Richie.
I'm being truthful, and you know.
And that could be interchanged. A person can use the word, I'm being honest. It's always funny when I hear somebody says, you know something, I'm not going to lie. I'm like, okay, what were you doing before that? I'm going to be honest now. Well, what were you doing before?
That one becomes like a one of those. It's like you know, like when like people when they like you know, they like they like say like all the time, you know, like what I'm talking about, like, right,
Like
there's certain YouTubers, like gamers and stuff,
like
and they're playing and they say, I'm not gonna lie, that scared the shit out of me then, or I'm not gonna lie, that was really intense, I'm not gonna lie, and it's almost said because they feel that it emphasizes it even more, you know, like, that was scary, but I'm not gonna lie, man, that scared the shit out of me. There are times when people say it and they mean it, but yeah, it means, well, what so did you lie before then? What did you lie about before? If you're not going to lie about this, what were you lying about before? Like you said.
Here I am being like an idiot, or I can't say I'm an idiot. I'm trying to follow the conversation. I'm like, okay, why would you say that? It's like somebody saying, Dom, you know, I'm going to pay you. I'm like, okay, you just told me a given. That's a mute point. But now since you told me that, I'm very suspicious. Why would you say that you're going to pay me when it's obviously I'm doing electrical work and that's a given, unless you're going to elaborate into how much you're going to pay me?
Yeah, is it you're going to pay me? Yeah, are you going to pay me what I ask you to pay me? Or are you going to try and make it so you pay less?
At that point, I'm like, okay, am I actually volunteering for community service, but I don't know it yet? You know, like I wasn't born yesterday. I could have been. But at this point, I'm like, who are you trying to fool here? Well, Dominic, I'm not trying to fool you. I said, well, then why would you say that out loud then? You know, it's like when somebody says to me, Dom, I'm a doctor. Okay, so you went from smart to being clever. What do you mean? I didn't ask you what your profession is. But obviously it must mean a lot to you to share with me that one degree that you got. How many years did you go become a doctor?
I'd like to think that I'd be quick enough to say, "Oh, really? That's nice. You're a doctor. So you're not a healer then? You're just a doctor."
But are we being?
You like to practice, but you're not actually a healer.
But are we being cheeky monkeys at that point, Richie? When we
Yeah.
start talking that way. That's what I'm saying. I'm going to give people, if I'm going to be clever with other people, I'm not going to do it intentionally. I'm going to try to be sincere. But if somebody's being clever, they're not they're unaware of it. I'm just going to try to bring it to the forefront to see whether or not they're doing it with consciousness. Yeah, but I wasn't being clever. I say, but you were talking like somebody that's clever. Okay, well, you know, because I would be that guy that would say, okay, so what's the wisdom of discernment out of this? What do you mean? What purpose would it be for me to know that you're a doctor? Well, I don't know. I said, well, so this is all about you. And I'm the kind of guy that would tell them, I said, listen, then I guess I don't need to be here. Now, they might get upset what I say. I'm like, okay, so should I be upset that you called me a doctor? I was asking questions, even though I was being clever when I was asking it. You know,
Credentials really matter to people that believe in the system.
it does, you know. Somebody will ask me, you know, Dom, are you an electrician? As I'm doing electrical work, no, I'm the plumber on a ladder. You know, it's kind of self-explanatory, but I get some people come into it, they're like a bull in the china set. I said, okay, so if I was underneath their car, would I actually be the roofer? Tells me where people are at in the way they speak, and, you know, are they truly there in that moment?
Yeah, it's kind of like the people I get that tell me how to fix the machine when I'm over there trying to repair it for them.
So why is Mac here then?
I know. Why'd you call me? Yeah.
I'm lonely. My cat's kind of scared. Can you get her out of the washing machine? Yeah, I can, but
Oh,
am I here to
boy.
fix it?
Yep.
And what do you do at that point, Mac?
I hand him the screwdriver.
I do that too with contractors. Hey, how about I just give you my vest? You can just start doing the work. I'll sit back here and maybe I'll stand 2 feet away from you. It's always that customer that's like right behind you. You know, it'd be like Richie trying to play a song and the person's like right there. I say, can I at least move my pick a little bit?
That's funny.
Yeah, that's how I take it, Mac, too. Sorry, go ahead, Rich.
No, yeah, just saying, it looks like I am going to be working. So, yeah, I'm going to have to wrap this stream up at 3:00 in 41 minutes.
Oh, SS has a chance to make it.
Yep. Making some dough tonight.
The trouble is we won't be able to devote the time that I'd like to devote to it. But maybe we could do a stream later tonight when I get home from work. I'll see you when he gets. Are you still listening there, Squirrel? He might still be listening. If you're still listening, mate, this sounds like it needs more than 10 minutes. You know, 10 or 15 minutes. So maybe it'd be. You could introduce it and then we could talk about it later when I finish work. When I get back from work. If I play till 10, I'll be back about 20 to 11.
I'm going to call.
It takes 40 minutes. I worked it out the other day. It takes 40 minutes to walk to work.
That's a nice little walk.
Yeah, and that's fucking power walking as well. That's like not slowing down, maintaining a brisk walk and I've got quite a big gait because I'm 6'3", so you know it's quite fast. I walk quite fast. I walk faster than everybody else. I'm overtaking everybody on the fucking pavement, and it takes 40 minutes. I thought it was quicker. I thought it was like 25, 30 minutes, but yeah. It's basically, it's like an extra 15 minutes from Lava Lounge.
Is it sidewalks, pavement, concrete, grass?
Oh yeah. The thing is, That's going downhill as well. That's going there, and that's if I cut straight down to the beach, and then walk along the beach. That's 40 minutes. If I cut through and I follow the pavements and follow the roads into like fucking hell. Can you hear that? It's really distracting me. Spanish music in the background, some shit Spanish music in the background. Yeah, I think it takes about the same time, but it's not as picturesque. No, I'm not carrying my guitar and stuff. I leave my guitar there. I just carry my desk. But I might actually start leaving my desk there because the last 3 times I've been live, it's been, I'm just using my Yamaha AG03. I'm just using the first desk that I got, and I'm not plugging my PV in. My PV is still down there in the in my bag. So I might actually leave my PV there tonight, and then tomorrow I'll carry my laptop and everything down, and all the extra stuff I need to be able to actually stream it properly, not just through my phone. I have 2 cameras on, and have a camera on me and a camera on the people, and the only thing is you won't be able to pick up the audience. But isn't it funny that every time I get my camera out, we don't have that many people. It doesn't seem like they have that many people. And every time I don't have my camera out, we get loads of people. What's with that? I have a better night when I don't film it.
It's kind of like this scenario. It's like when you're single, you can't find a girl, but when you find a girl, there's tons of girls out. You know what I'm saying?
I never experienced that either, right?
Yeah.
I've been the lead singer, front man, solo performer, whatever, since 2009. But I don't. The only time I ever had a girl throw herself at me was in 1999 when I first did it, and I was a backing singer and a rhythm guitarist. And the front man was an Australian guy, and there was a woman in her 50s that sang backing vocals, and I had one girl throw herself at me, and we ended up in a fucking 2.5-year relationship. That was the girl that had loads of abortions and wasn't able to carry my baby to term. But yeah, that's the only time that's ever happened. And all the girlfriends that I've had while I've been a performer have all had this idea that because I'm the front man and I'm up on stage and I'm a singer, that I've got girls constantly trying to get with me. And it's happened once when I was 21 years old. After that, it's like, I don't know. I had somebody told me actually that one girl in Portugal told me that I just seemed like unapproachable. Not that I was bad, not that I was not a nice person to approach, just that there would be no point in approaching me because I would not be interested. They could tell that I wouldn't be interested. And the thing is, I guess I was in a relationship at the time, so I wasn't interested in anybody else. I think I just gave that off, like a fucking electromagnetic wave saying, yeah, don't even bother, I'm not interested.
Well, Richie, as an electrician, I'm pretty sure Mac as an appliance guy, we're babe magnets too, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen plenty of pornos where the electrician or the plumber or the chippy or the fucking or the handyman or anybody or the fucking the postman, the milkman, the paper boy. They all get to bang the lonely housewife inside.
Let the electrician check your shorts.
I like what South Park did with the delivery guys. They said, "Oh, it's the U8. What's it called? The UPS? Yeah, UPS delivery guys are banging your wives. Like your wives are buying stuff on Amazon just to get, and it's the UPS delivery guy that's delivering the Amazon shit that's banging your wife."
Till they find out it's a tranny.
Do you know? This whole time I've had Neil Oliver and this girl. I don't know what her name is. She's I've come across her before. She's like Swedish or something. She's Scandinavian, or maybe she's Dutch. I'm not sure. But whatever. She's just it's another girl on YouTube that's like, damn, why can't I find a girl like that? Ava, whatever that other, I can't remember what her name is.
What is she sharing? What is she sharing with Oliver, by the way? Like, what's the conversation?
Basically, they've banned her from going to the UK. One of the reasons I brought this up was because it actually, this is something that is on my mind, right? If I go back to the UK, am I going to get arrested?
For what?
For what I've said online.
Oh.
Because she's banned from the UK for what she said online. So,
Richie, I'm going to be suspicious. My wife's kind of probably a lot of trails. My wife had a really big channel, and she got banned from YouTube because she went onto other platforms to talk politically about the government, even though her channel's all about food, Reiki, singing bowls.
And you're from Canada, right?
Myself, yes.
Yeah. Wow.
What's up, Laundry?
What's up, man?
Laundry.
Hey, Laundry. Are you scootering? Are you on your scooter? Are you going on your scooter later today, Laundry?
Yeah.
Probably. I'm gonna scoot around.
Good for
You
you.
never know.
Remember, I fix appliances so you can do your laundry.
You're copying my green screen look, man. You're copying my green screen not activated look. It's
There we go.
you got the circular one. Did you get that on Emu?
No, I don't know. It was my dad's. I just took it from him. He's like, I don't use it. I know where he got it.
So, yeah, she's talking about that. She's talking about the fact that she's banned. I don't. She could talk about anything. I could just sit there and just like I could listen to her talk. I could watch her talk.
This is a woman right here.
No,
so
not
the news.
This is Neil Oliver. He's interviewing.
Immediately caught my attention. So, without any more introduction, let's get straight into it. My guest is my good friend Eva Vlaringerbroek. How are you doing, Eva?
Eva Vlaringerbroek. Fucking hell, what a name, eh?
Yeah, it's a big one.
Vlaringerbroek.
Dingleberry
That's a
Brook.
big name. But Ava.
That's the
Her name's
ugliest name I've
Ava.
ever heard. I'm sorry.
That's just Ava. That's enough. That's
Say
a
it 10
beautiful
times
name,
fast.
man.
Hi, Neil. Well, now that I'm talking to you, I'm doing well. It's always a pleasure talking to you.
Yeah, likewise. As I say, can you just enlighten me and my audience? Exactly what is it that has happened to you in the last few days?
Okay, well, so yesterday I checked my email unsuspectingly, and I found an email from the UK government, and they had sent it to me actually the day before. But I'm a mom of a almost 13-month-old little boy, and my life's a bit more hectic than it used to be, I suppose. So I hadn't checked my email yet, and I saw this email from the day before. Saying that my travel authorization to the UK had been revoked, and I was like, "What's this? I'm not traveling to the UK right now. Like, what's this? What's this all about?" And so I open it, and it was just this really simple, outlined email saying that my ETA had been revoked because they deemed me non-conducive to the public good. And I was like, oh, okay. So this is personal. I thought maybe something had, I don't know, that there was an expiry date to this travel authorization or something. But no, this was a political decision made. And it listed that the decision was not up for appeal. So I was like, okay, so I've just been banned from entering the United Kingdom. That's something.
So just so to clarify, I'm whatever. I'm a British citizen. You're a Dutch citizen, and under the general terms, any of us can just jump on a plane or whatever, or a ferry, and go to another of the European countries covered by that ETA, and you say no more and do no more about it. So you've had that freedom withdrawn. So if you had, let's say, a pressing need to come to Britain, can't imagine what that might be, but if you did, is there any other means by which you could seek permission to come here, or are you just banned from entry full stop?
Well, so the UK now requires this ETA as a result of Brexit, but it's relatively new. I think they enforced it like a year ago or something. Before that, you didn't even need that coming from the European Union, but now you do. So I requested that ETA back in September when I spoke at the Tommy Robinson rally, the Unite the Kingdom rally. And I requested it, and I think within minutes it was approved, because it's usually an automatic travel, authorization. If you don't have a criminal record or you don't come from a specific list of countries, they just give it to you kind of automatically. So I had no issues, back in September when I went to London. But I don't have any imminent plans of going to the UK right now. I didn't book a ticket or anything. It wasn't.
That'll be what did it then. She spoke at the Tommy Robinson event. There you go.
Yeah, but they let immigrants in.
No, I just wonder, because I said, my dad's health isn't the best. He's 75, and he's recently broke his hip, and he's he can't work now, so he's having to rely on his pension and that. And my mum is she's 20 years older than me, so she's 68. And I think they need some help. So I've been thinking about, going back to the UK. If nothing else, just to go and visit, go and see my dad. Because I don't think there's that long left, It's 5-10 years maybe. What do I do if I go back? They fucking pick me up at the airport for something that I've said online.
Do you think they'd go after you of all people?
Say again?
Do you think they'd go after you of all people?
Well, they're arresting. They've been arresting people and questioning them under the Terrorism Act for things that they've posted and things that they've said online. Just normal people, normal citizens. So
they just hold them for a couple hours or overnight?
Under these new terrorism things, they can hold them without charge, without you don't have the right to remain silent. If you refuse to give any of your passwords for anything, you're charged, and you're guilty straight away of whatever this terrorism thing is. So, basically all your rights are stripped away as soon as they accuse you of terrorism or suspect you, or say that you might be suspected of being linked to or being involved with or supporting in some way. It's your birthday today, Citizen Debs. I just saw that. So, I got to say, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Debs.
Short one. You're a year older than Mac now, so you're 62.
She's 2 years older than me. In March, I'll be 61.
Ah. Well, yeah, you're 61. 60 and 10 months, you're 61. Mr. Jeff, good afternoon. How you doing? So come on. Oh, no one's flower as well. Good to see you.
Yep, born in 65.
Laundry, come on. How much? What did you have? What did you have in mind to say when you came up? Was there something in the conversation that sparked inspiration to say something, or did you just jump up on the panel because it's an open panel? and I'm always looking for. Let's put that up actually. Laundry, you there?
Here's a Prince
Sound of silence. Hello, darkness, my old friend. Sorry, what were you saying there, Dom?
Sorry, guys. I was just saying the old Prince. I think he once had an interview talking about having just one birthday, literally have one birth, and then we celebrate it over and over again based on some sort of cycle, which I get. We have to acknowledge that we're in our 60s or our 50s or our 40s. But are we really celebrating when we say we're 61 or 62?
And is it the day of your birth or the day you were born?
Yeah, there you go. That's a good one too. Are we born? Are we birthed? Were we ever inside of that little womb there?
You're the same. You're the same year in school, basically, Debs. You were the same year in school. Both born in '65.
Yep.
She's only a couple of months older than you. She's only a couple of months older than you, not a couple of years.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just glad I wasn't born on a leap year.
Weren't you born on a leap year, Dom?
No, I was a year earlier, 64. 1964.
It was 11 years before me. I graduated high school in '94.
What is the indication when it comes to the Chinese? What animal are you under?
I'm a snake.
A snake. Love it.
Fire snake.
Fire snake. I'm a wood dragon, so I'm pretty sure Mac is a wood of some sort. Besides
I'm a Pisces. Fishy.
Well, you're fish.
No, Chinese. The Chinese, not Western Chinese. Do you know what? So you're. When's your birthday? What month are you born? Mac?
What's that now?
What month were you born?
March.
So yeah, you're Pisces. So my sister was born in March, but she was 1980, so she was a monkey. And then the year after was the rooster, I think. I don't know what the cycle is of the Chinese New Year. Powder Dusty, how you doing, buddy? Come and join us.
Taylor,
Come and spice up the conversation
Mac,
for the last 20 minutes. No, last 20 minutes. I've only got 20 minutes left.
I'm a water sign.
You're a wood snake. Mac. Wow. You're under the wood snake. Wood snake.
You're a wood. That means that this is your year, because this is the year of the wood snake.
Yay!
The Chinese year of the wood snake ends next month, but this year is the wood snake. And yeah, so it's supposed to be our year, man.
It's like the element that
fire snake,
but yeah, they even have colors associated. So I would be like a wood green dragon. The green indicates what type of dragon it is. So
yeah, not a blue one or a red one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, again, it's colors and elements. Whether again, you have to believe in that stuff.
I think there's something true about the elements, right, and how they manifest into us physically. This as within, so without, and as above, so below. And with the elements, like the four elements, could incorporate. It could be basically the four elements of being human. So the physical element of being a human, the spiritual element of being a human, the intellectual element of being a human, and the emotional. Right? The how you doing, Flo?
I'm all right. Good morning.
You just finished. You sound like you've just woken up.
Oh, a little bit of getting up and eating some peanut butter and jellies because I like sugar.
Who doesn't like sugar, man? I haven't seen you in ages. What have you been up to?
Oh, same shit. Streaming, buy Landry. Streaming, dabbling in markets and shit.
Bought any more silver?
Yeah, yep.
We were talking to Tony earlier, Tony Drake, and apparently he's got 15 kilos of it.
That's a good chunk of silver. How much is it? How many ounces is a kilo?
That's like 36 or 36,000 ounces.
Oh my god.
It's like 2.5 million or something. Today's
crazy.
current price.
Well, the 100-ounce bar I hang around. Well, I used to have. I moved my paperweight since silver's gone up so much. But I bought that at the end of 21 for 2,400. It's worth 10 now. I mean, I'm pretty happy.
That's nice appreciation. I've just never. Who was it? It was Bearsworth.
Mm-hmm.
The other week, he offered to send me some silver. He said he was going to send me some silver, and I said, "Dude, I can't eat silver, and I can't spend it in the fucking supermarket." So, I like the Thanks
God,
for
what a
the
response! What's wrong with you?
But
go find him right now. Tell me, change your mind.
Well, that's when you need the pieces of 8, so you just break off a piece of your pieces of 8 and give it to them.
I've done transactions in silver, and I would again too.
Say that again.
I've done transactions in silver before, and I would do it again too if somebody offered it to me. Sorry, mouthful of peanut butter and jelly.
No worries. Listen, guys, we've got 17 minutes left. Right, that's a Q reference right there. We've got 17 minutes left, so let's. Because I am working tonight. Right. The reason I haven't seen you in the last few days, Flo, is I've been fucking kept awake every night by a English Bull Terrier in heat next door. And there's another, I don't know what it is, but it's another pedigree, beautiful dog, and male who hasn't been neutered either. And when the guy's out at work, he basically ties one up in one corner and ties the other one up in the other corner, and we have to deal with them fucking howling and barking and yelping and.
That is so goddamn annoying.
Yeah, and it's just kept me awake for like 4 or 5 days now. So I'm sleeping till fucking 11:30, 12 o'clock.
Have you not like broken in and set those dogs free or something?
Nah. Like I was saying earlier, I'll put myself in his shoes, like in this fucking hostile situation and everything. He was doing all right before COVID. He had his own place. He had a nice apartment. He had room for the dogs and everything, and got forced into a situation where all he can afford is this fucking room, but he doesn't want to get rid of his dogs, and he doesn't want to have to get the bitch neutered because he wants to breed her because she's a full pedigree English Bull Terrier. Yeah, so just.
So he's going to do what he wants at everyone else's expense. I see.
Well, I'm just I had my dog, didn't I? And I had difficulties getting somewhere to live because I had a dog. So I know the struggle when you're renting. If you've got dogs, it's a bitch.
I've never had a dog, so I can not relate to the dog fetish.
I don't know if I'd call it.
Well, this is going to be fun. The wife wants to go to California to see her brother, right? And she wants to take the dog. It takes me like 3 days to get out there, so I'll have to stop at 3 motels. We had a dog before; it was pretty cool, didn't bark. But this dog we got now, any noise goes, it's going to bark, and I think we might get in trouble. And she don't want to fly out there, so I don't think we should bring the dog.
Well, you were talking about getting an RV, weren't you?
Yeah. But
be a good
how long will that
that'd
fad
be a good
last?
trip in an RV.
Right. How long will that fad last? You know, I get the RV and everything, and she's like, "Oh, this is a big hassle." You know what I'm saying? Because I've been watching some YouTube videos with people in RVs, and yeah, looks all glitz and glamorous, but when it comes down to it, you know.
I'll tell you what, I'd rather have an RV than a fucking tent.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I think that they're clamping down on people, on van life, on people that are living out on living in their vans. They're clamping down in the UK. They're clamping down in America. Right?
Yep.
They don't want people having that sort of freedom, and not having the obligations to the state, you know, that they have if they're renting a property.
Yeah, they don't like that.
We lost Landry pretty much as soon as you came up, I think, wasn't it?
I saw that.
Do you know what? I don't know what his intentions are when he comes up on the panel. Like, I don't know.
I don't know if he knows.
He doesn't, because he never ends up really doing anything. He just sort of sits there and listens for a bit, and then he drops off. Like, gets that bored, he just drops off. Mind you, I'd get pretty bored. Like, it's I might as well fucking wrap it up, man, because we're there's no point in getting a good conversation going because we're gonna have to stop it anyway.
Yep.
I appreciate you popping up, though, Dusty.
Thanks for keeping me company while I ate peanut butter and jelly.
There you go. You gonna film tonight, there, Rich?
Eh?
You going to film at your show?
No. Yeah, like I said, like every time I turn the camera on, like I have a better time. It's a better night, and I always seem to have a better atmosphere when I'm not filming. I don't know what that is, but every time I got my camera out, there's not really been that many people. When I haven't got my camera out, I've got people coming in. And I'm sat there thinking, God, I wish I was filming so everybody could see. But it's just the way it is, isn't it? So the Matrix doesn't want it. The Matrix doesn't want it.
All right. I guess I'll let you go then, since you got a busy night. You gonna rest up a little bit?
I'm thinking about leaving my desk there so that tomorrow I can take my laptop down and do a proper stream through the studio with the desk going into the micro. With the desk as the microphone, so the sound quality is. The dog. So it's a good sound quality, basically. I'll see you later, Dom. Take it easy, man. Thanks for jumping up. Sorry, I'm having to cut it short, but yeah, I've got to go.
I got you, Debs. I'm not going to bring the dog.
Happy birthday.
Too much of a
Debs.
hassle.
Shout out.
Yeah, take care of yourself.
And to everybody else. Dana, good to see you. Mr. Jeff, Leafy. You're the only guys that have been talking. Squirrel Sniper, dude. Yeah, we're going to have to do it another time. Peace and love, everyone.
feeling under pressure, do something different. Roll up your sleeves or eat an orange.
Be on the lookout.
Right, the shop is closed. Everybody get out.
What?
Time to go home. Come on.
It's only 2:45.
Yes, but it's my shop. Come on, go home. Bye-bye. Thank you.
That's hardly fair.
It's not fair at all. Get out. Bye-bye.
I expect better service.
We'll expect away. Get out. Bye-bye. Come on, all you time-wasting bastards. Back on the streets. Come on. Bye-bye-bye. Goodbye. Thank you. Bye-bye-bye. Back to life. Back to reality. Thank you.
Shut it down!